Experiment 2, Series Circuit and Parallel Circuit.
Okay, experiment number 2 consists of two parts. Part 1 is series circuit and the second part is for parallel circuits. For series circuits, the materials needed are breadboard, okay, 4 resistors with the value of 330 ohm, 1 kilo ohm, 1.5 kilo ohm and 2.2 kilo ohm. Next, the analog multimeter and the voltage supply. The first step of this experiment is obtain the resistors mentioned just now, and measure each resistor and record the measured value in the table provided. This is how you measure the resistance of the first resistor. Resistor 1 and then resistor 2, 3, 4. Compute the total resistance by adding the listed values. Enter the computed total resistance RT in the table provided. Next, connect the resistors in series as shown here. Resistor R1 connected to R2, R3 and then R4. Measure the total resistance of this series connection like this. Record the value in the table provided. After that, verify that your answer agrees with your computed value. For step number 3, complete the circuit in series connection as shown here. The power supply connected to the resistors and then the emitter. After that, you measure the current in this series connection. Make sure the voltage is 15 volt. After that, record the value in the table provided in your lab sheet. Now we are going to measure the voltage across each resistors. For the first resistor, we measure the voltage as VAB and record the value measured in the table provided. Then for second resistor, VBC, the third resistor, VCD, and the fourth resistor, VDE. Lastly, for series circuit experiment, complete step 7, 8 and 9. After this, we are going to do the second part, which is parallel circuits. The materials needed for this experiment are 4 resistors. One resistor, the value is 3.3 kilo ohm. One 4.7 kilo ohm resistor, 6.8 kilo ohm resistors, and 10 kilo ohm resistor. We also need an analog multimeter, a digital multimeter, and a power supply. First step is to obtain the 4 resistors mentioned just now. Then measure all these 4 resistors. Record the value of each resistor in the table given. Second step is to measure the resistance of resistors connected in parallel. First, connect R1 and R2 in parallel as shown here. Then, measure the resistance of this parallel connection. Record the value in the table given. Repeat this process by adding R3 in parallel with R2 and R1. Measure the total resistance of this connection. Record your value in the table given. Finally, add resistance 4 in parallel to R3, R2 and R1. Measure the total resistance of this connection. Record the value in the table given. For procedure number 4, we are going to connect these 4 resistors to the voltage source. Make the connection as shown here. This is the voltage source connected to the 4 resistors, and from here you connect it to the analog multimeter to measure the current. Now measure the current by looking at the analog multimeter. Record your value in the table given. Next, we are going to measure the voltage across each resistor. To do this, just place the probe at the legs of the resistors to be measured. For resistor 1, measure the voltage. Resistor 2, resistor 3, and the last one. Okay, for step 6, 7 and 8, just use the formula given to calculate the answers. That's all for this experiment.